traditional financial system, your transactions can be tracked to your name usually, and this has its advantages and disadvantages. How does Bitcoin work? Bitcoin works with a distributed repository of all the transactions. So every Bitcoin node knows everything about the network, where the coins are, and who gave which coin to whom. Pay attention, when we talk about accounts, we don't talk about names. So you have an account that is a series of numbers and letters, but it's not linked to your identity. So Bitcoin nodes know which other Bitcoin nodes, what other Bitcoin nodes are doing, but they don't know which identity owns the Bitcoin accounts. New Bitcoins are created, put into circulation with an activity called mining. In simple terms, these 21 million coins come into circulation slowly and gradually as people mine them, allocating their computing power to do hard calculations that can extract Bitcoin as it was gold mining. It's a hard work. Gold mining is a hard physical work, and Bitcoin mining is a hard computational work that your computer can do. So if you leave your machine open with the Bitcoin client on, you can mine Bitcoins. More features about gold, fiat, and Bitcoin. So as we said, we now know more about Bitcoin, and we see that Bitcoin is very good in the sense that it's limited in supply as gold, while fiat currency can be printed out of thin air. Bitcoin is not issued upon debt, while our fiat currency system is based on debt. So when new currency, new euros or new dollars come into circulation, new debt, more debt have to be created. So it's pretty hard to scale this system long term, because you always have more debt than currency. So how can you exit this spiral of debt? It's basically impossible. So it's not very resilient long term. Bitcoin is a transparent system because every node knows exactly what is happening on the network, so there is no hidden stuff. And it's decentralized. More likely it is distributed. Also, microtransactions are easier on Bitcoin than any other system. Talking about the next currency. What is the next currency going to be? We don't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen after Bitcoin. But we have an idea. And we do believe that the next currency will need to have specific features. And the opportunity for this next currency is huge. So we want to give you an idea of how huge this opportunity is to develop the next currency thing. Internet has disrupted advertisement, so we see that Google advertising revenues are around 10% of world advertising market. So it's a huge thing that Google has done in the advertising market. In another market, Skype accounts for around 10% of international calls. So again, the internet has disrupted advertisement. The internet has disrupted communication. Has the internet disrupted money? Bitcoin accounts for 0.00004% of world's money mass. Meaning that basically there might be a huge opportunity for the next currency to disrupt the money system, the fiat money system. Bitcoin is a beautiful, revolutionary technology, but still hasn't done this disruption yet. How big is it? It is pretty big. So if you see the world's advertisement market here, which is the 100% of 10%, where Google revenues are just 10% of that, this huge red planet or ball is the world money mass. Why does Bitcoin account for only 0.00004% of this? First of all, because it's not that convenient to use it. When's the last time you used Bitcoin to buy something? Okay. So you basically answered for yourself. You know about Bitcoin. How many of you have ever actually used Bitcoin, downloaded the client? Okay. But did you buy anything with it? No, that's what I'm talking about. You download it, you play with it, but you haven't used it. Why? Because it's not convenient, not that convenient to use it compared to fiat currency. If you're not a huge fan of Bitcoin, it is very useful if you need or want to buy extra legal stuff. So if you want to buy drugs, for example, like LSD or hashish or cocaine, you could do it on this website that is called Silk Road, where you can pay with Bitcoin and they're shipped to you. They actually suggest to ship them not to your address, but to some friend's address, and you go to the friend's, and you can pay immediately with Bitcoin. So it's very easy because there is no bank account that can be freezed here, because no authority can freeze any Bitcoin account. It is also good for microtransactions because, as we said, it's pretty faster and cheaper than the traditional system. Also, there is a problem with Bitcoin, which is its value. We said that it's pretty high risk to store value in Bitcoin. There is a guy from the Pirate Party, I believe, who said he's put all his wealth in Bitcoin. What?
Big following.
Yeah, big following. So he put all that he has in Bitcoin. And this is pretty risky because Bitcoin has no intrinsic value. So gold has intrinsic value, you can do nothing with Bitcoin. But the fiat currencies, like US dollar, have the legal tender. So they have no intrinsic value, but they have a government that backs it. So they have power to enforce its acceptance. So you know that someone will eventually use dollars or euros because they are forced to, because they have to. Because the police and military, you have to pay the taxes with this currency, you have to accept them as a payment. But Bitcoin has none of these two powers. So it's pretty risky to store value in Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin then? It's a digital store of value, because it doesn't work much it's not working much as a currency, which is pretty risky because its value could drop to zero if something bad happens, because it has no intrinsic value, no legal tender, and can act as an electronic cash-like currency in those situations, like, for example, extra-legal or illegal transactions over the internet. Because if you want to buy drugs in real life, just pay cash, and it's easier. But if you want to buy them online, then you can use Bitcoin. Is the next currency already here? There are Bitcoin opened the Pandora's box of coins. So there are already, right now, hackers, they are devoting their time and energy and thinking to currencies. There is Namecoin, Solidcoin, IFCoin, Litecoin. These are already implemented out there. You can download them, you can use them. They're pretty interesting experiments. Solidcoin, for example, is not as scarce as Bitcoin, so its supply is not limited to 21 million. IXCoin is, and Litecoin can be mined faster. And then there is Flycoin, for example. It's a very interesting idea. It's the idea of having a Bitcoin whose value diminishes with time, so to prevent deflation prices. Then there are many more coming in the future. But we do not believe the next currency is already here. So we do not believe the next currency is in that list. We believe the next currency is yet to come, because it should have some features, some basic features. The first one is it should be really decentralized. So if you think at the blockchain, the repository of transactions of Bitcoin, as a central authority, it is a single point of failure. Because if that is exploited, the system is exploited. While if you think about Git, for example, it is really decentralized, not just distributed. So when there is no central authority, no central repository, there is no single point of failure, and the system is more resilient. So technically speaking, the new system should be extremely resilient, we believe. But there are also economic features that the new system should have. The first one is to fix the problem of access.